All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our community focus here in Nelson County. Glad you could join us. I'm Kenny Fogle, your host tonight. We got Danielle Hutchins here with us today, and Danielle's going to talk a little bit about, well, it must be summertime or something coming up because we got 4-H camp coming up.
Yes, yesterday was 85 degrees and it was nice outside, and everybody's kind of thinking about the spring break.
First week of spring, and you're talking about middle of summer.
Well, it's always good. I have to plan my calendar at least a season in advance. I know some people are lucky enough to just be able to plan a couple days or a week in advance, but whenever we're working with kids, we've got to get everything just right, and so we're getting things ready for 4-H camp. And this year, Nelson County 4-H will be going to camp June 20th through the 24th. We spend 5 days down at Lake Cumberland, and we take kids that are 9 to 14 years old. But then we also have kids in leadership roles that are our team leaders, and they are 15 through 17 years old. And then once they turn 18, they go through the background check process, and we take adults as well. So we usually take around 300 people from Nelson County to Lake Cumberland for a week, and it's a wonderful time down there. And this year we decided to get started a little bit earlier on our promotion because there is some paperwork involved, unfortunately. But when you're sending your most precious possession away for a week, we do need to know a little bit about them. So we get some health information and just some information that helps your child be a little more successful. So they also have to have a physical, and we have to have their immunization records. So we decided to promote about a month earlier this year to give parents a little more time to get their paperwork in. And a few more exciting things about this year. Typically when kids go to camp, they will camp in cabins with kids that are their same gender and close to their same age. So if I wanted to be in a cabin with my best friend, I can request one other camper to be a cabin mate. They do have to be within 2 years of me. So if I was 9, I could request somebody up to 11. Now, the best way to guarantee that you get that camper in cabin with the person that they want is whenever you fill out your pre-registration form, there's a place where you can request, and if you put little Sally's name on your form, make sure little Sally puts your name on her form, and then we can get them in that cabin together. But also this year, every day they go to activities. So Monday when they get there, they do an orientation, they get to go swimming, they learn dances. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they have 4 class sessions. One of those is always swimming, so they get an opportunity to go to the pool. The other ones include rocketry, archery, giant swing, canoe, kayak. There are about 20 choices. And they go to those with their cabin mates. But this year, we've decided on Tuesday night, there's going to be an individual choice activity. Because a lot of kids are like, man, I never get to do what I want. And we do it by cabin, so the cabin votes. And so if there's one kid that's really passionate about something, but the rest of the cabin isn't, they may not get that opportunity their first year. Their second or third year, they might get to. So this year, we've implemented an individual choice night. And the sooner they get in their paperwork, the better chance they get for that activity choice. Because that activity choice is going to be based on when we receive their paperwork. So they'll get a list of classes to choose from. They'll rank them from 1 to 18. And, if they're one of the first ones in, they might get their number 1 choice. If they wait until the deadline, they might get their number 18 choice. But even though sometimes it might not be the activity that you're like, oh, I really want this, some of our kids, they go to activities and they're like, I didn't think I'd like this, but this was my favorite activity. So we like camp because it gives kids an opportunity to have a safe space for a week. It gives them an opportunity to be able to meet new friends, to learn life skills, to explore some new activities, and just kind of have a little bit of independence for the week at camp. Now, if you don't want to be away from your kid, you can go as an adult leader. We have.
I was going to ask you, you want to need any adult volunteers?
We do. We actually take about 30 teens and 30 adults who go, and they stay in the cabins. They help supervise in the cabins, but they also assist with some the teaching of the classes and things like that. So Luke and I can't do it all by ourselves. We actually take Ron and Robbie. Luke is our other 4-H agent, and Ron is our ag agent, and Robbie's our horticulture agent. Now, they don't have to go to camp, so we greatly appreciate the fact that they go to camp with us. They are a huge asset, but every person that goes to camp is needed. And so if you've ever thought, man, I went to camp as a kid, it'd be fun to go back as an adult, give us a call at the office, 348-9204, and we can get you the paperwork that you need for that. I know in a little bit we're going to show a video that gives a little bit more information about camp, and you can kind of have a visual of camp. But this year they're also going to have an open house. So if you're like, man, I want to send my kid to camp, but I just don't know. I don't know what the cabins look like. I don't know if I want to send them. You can call our office and we can give you the information about the open house as well. And that's the time where families can just go down and literally check it out. I think they're even going to have pontoon rides that day. So that'll be a nice visit that you can do. So how they go to camp, these registration forms are being dropped off at the schools over the next couple of weeks. If they are on the 4-H mailing list or receive a 4-H newsletter, it's in there as well. They can call our office as well. And I think we even have it on Facebook. But you fill out this pre-registration form. It gives us the basic information, and you pay a first deposit. This year camp is $200. And that $200 fee, it sounds kind of steep, but when you think about it, it's transportation to the camp, it's the lodging while they're there, their food, their class materials, and usually they even get water bottles in a backpack as well to make sure they stay hydrated, and the backpack is so that they keep up with the water bottle. But after they fill this out and turn in their deposit, then we actually give them the big packet and they fill out a more in-depth application. But if you're thinking, man, I'd love to send my kid to camp and I can't do it this year, maybe your finances have changed or there are some reason why you just can't afford it this year, we do have scholarships available. We always tell people money should never be a reason why a child doesn't do something in 4-H. So call our office. Again, that number is 348-9204, and we can get you the scholarship information. We actually partner with Community Action for those who are eligible for those services. And then we have lots of wonderful donors who we truly appreciate their support. A lot of the local organizations such as Farm Bureau, Kiwanis, some of our homemaker clubs, there are about 40, so I can't name them all, but we usually raise around $8,000 to $10,000 to be able to offset the cost for all of the kids, but to offer partial scholarships as well. Typically, when you apply for a scholarship, if it's your first year, we can offer a half scholarship. And then if it's your second year applying for a scholarship, we do a third. Sometimes for extenuating circumstances, we can do a little bit more as well. So again, just call the office about that scholarship information. The the pre-registrations are available in the schools. And if you have questions or concerns, just call myself or Luke, and we'd be glad to talk to you. I know a lot of parents will have individual concerns about health issues or behavioral issues for their kids, and we can tell you how to help your kid have the most successful week. And we do an orientation before they go as well.
Well, like I said, I know the impact of it because it's been nearly 50 years since I went to camp, and I still remember it. I remember that's how I learned how to shoot. I thought I knew how to shoot a bow and arrow before I went. I didn't. I thought I knew how to swim before I went. I didn't know how to swim properly, but I learned while I was at camp. So I can still remember that 50 years ago. So if something has that impact on me that long ago, and I still remember it and still treasure it, I know that's something we really need to have our kids have the opportunity to do.
Yes, and summer camp does create memories that last a lifetime.
It's wonderful.
It's a magical place. On the last night, they have a going away bonfire, and there's this beautiful space at camp. It's an outdoor amphitheater, and it's kind of down in a little valley with the trees, so the trees look twice as tall. They have a big campfire, and you can see all the little embers going up into the sky, and the kids just, they cry because they don't want to leave. They don't think they'll ever see their friends again. I'm like, they're all from Nelson County. You'll see them in the grocery store or somewhere.
Well, it is traumatic. I can remember I was only about 8 or 9 years old, and the first time I'd ever really been away from my family and gone for a week. So I can still remember it. Still remember getting on the bus up here and leaving. But it's a memory you don't forget. And obviously it did. Hopefully it did some good for me. So I know it's a great positive for most people.
Yep, and just one other thing that we wanted to remind people while we've got them, there's a couple of things that if you don't have kids but you still want to support 4-H, there's a few things that are going on right now. We're actually doing a shoe drive where we're collecting shoes that are used, not abused, but used. Right. We can't take like really cheap flip-flops or really heavy winter boots, but if they want to bring clean shoes and drop them off at our office, that'll go towards the teen council. They actually get paid for the shoes. We're collecting bottle caps that are going to be used to create a bench that will be donated to Nazareth. And we are also in the midst of the Ag Tag program. And so if you have farm tags, whenever you go to renew your tags at the clerk's office, please take a moment to go ahead and designate that optional $10. In Nelson County, that money, a third goes to Kentucky Proud, a third goes to FFA, and a third goes to 4-H. And some of that money comes back to our program. Last year we got $1,700. And we earmarked that money for senior scholarships. So every penny counts with that, because that allows us to help reinvest in our youth and their higher education. So lots of great things going on. We still have candy bars for sale. And so if you're looking for a way to support 4-H, just come by our office and we can give you lots of things. We're also having a community yard sale on April the 30th. And that's going to be at the Civic Center.
Yeah, I bought several things. That's really nice.
Yeah, this time what we're doing, individuals can rent a space for their yard sale items, because I know some people, they might not live in a space that allows yard sales, or they might not be comfortable with people coming into their yards, or if you're my other half, you don't want people parking in your yard. That's what he told me. He said, can't have a yard sale because they can't park in the yard.
Do that.
So this is a space where you can have a yard sale, but in somebody else's space.
There you go. Somebody else's yard.
It's a small fee for that, but all that money is going to go back to 4-H as well. So.
Well, that's wonderful. Sounds like you got a lot going on. Now, June 20th through 24th is the actual camp, but people need to start signing up now. Now, if you're like me, you're probably going to wait till the last minute to sign up. They don't want that. Go ahead and start signing up now so they can get some things going, and go ahead and get these papers, and you can find them anywhere, like you said, at schools, and call you all, and go ahead and don't procrastinate. Get this done, and like I said, it make everybody's life a little easier.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, Danielle, we appreciate you coming in here and talking to us a little about this, because the youth is our future. There's no question about it. And, we sometimes forget about some of the things. We think, well, that's just a luxury going to camp. But again, like I said, it's been 50-some years for me, and I sent both my boys to camp, and I think it's one of the best decisions my parents made, and hopefully we made with our kids. So
I'm glad to hear that.
Keep doing what you're doing.
All right.
All right,
Thank you so
thanks,
much.
all. Well, stick around. Got a lot more to come here on Community Focus. We'll be back here on Channel 6 TV right after this.